Shoo doo 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 doo. Everybody's on here. Yo, what's going on, bud? We got Chaw. How you doing? Welcome back to the show. What's up, Jonathan? Hey, it's working. Look at that. Pretty cool, dude. Pretty cool. How's it sound? Everything sounding okay? Yeah, let me know if anything needs to be changed. But we are now going to be doing earlier streams on the weekdays. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's been okay. I got back from the drive yesterday, last night, and had a great time. My cousin got married. I have to sneeze. Hold on. I feel like when you announce a sneeze, it kind of goes, "Oh, are you sneezing now?" And it's like, "I won't go. I won't sneeze now." Oh well, but I guess I'm not sneezing. But yeah, it was a great time. Got to hang out with my cousins. Got to hang out with my aunts and uncles and everybody like that. It was really cool. It was a great experience. Had a great time. Got to hang out. It's always good to catch up. Got to see my nieces and nephews. My brother had a baby girl a couple months ago, and I got to meet her for the first time because I was in the middle of a move. I was about to move when she was born, and I was like, "Shoot, I really have zero time to do this. I can't meet her right now." Like literally, it was within a couple days of me moving, and I was like, "Ah." And theoretically, I could have dropped everything and ran over there, but it was tight. And I knew, yeah, I was gonna, yeah, I'm officially unk status, yeah. But yeah, I got to meet the baby and the other babies. My cousin also had a baby recently. It's pretty cool. But welcome back to the show. Just a brief update on that. So, man, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, dude. We got a lot to talk about. So, hey, if you're just joining us, my name is Patrick Gnarly, and this is the second channel that I have here. The Patrick Gnarly and Company is more of a talk show where I get to talk to you guys about guitar, music, streaming, etc. So, if you guys are having any questions or anything like that, go right ahead and ask me. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff, dude. I actually, I actually started a new subreddit. I'm not like I don't like Reddit too much, but I do enjoy the idea of a forum. I think forums are great. I think the idea of people having one spot to go into and just show their stuff, type in some comments, show off their gear, talk about new stuff, I think that's important. But yeah, I really got all my stuff uploaded up there, so... Chaw says I have to get in the shower. Why did you... If you gotta leave, go leave, dude. Get out of here. Get out of here, stinky. Ew. Yeah, get out of here, dude. You know, you guys don't have to tell me that. You guys can just go do what you gotta do. I'm gonna keep doing the show. But, yeah, I'm excited for the... I got a new subreddit that I made because I noticed that a lot of people... in the other guitar subreddits that I've noticed. If you don't know what I'm talking about, so Reddit is like a new. It's been around for a couple of years now, a couple decades. But essentially, Reddit replaced the old forum kind of structure. Bottom line is that it's just a forum. You go there, you make a post, you post a picture, a topic you want to talk about, etc. But I noticed that a lot of places on Reddit for guitar culture stuff, Fender guitars, Gibson guitars, vintage guitars, etc. I noticed that there's a lot of people out there that have been strangely okay with counterfeit guitars, and I felt that wasn't right. I didn't understand why that was a tolerated thing. Because if you go to any other community, even on Reddit, there's the what's it called? The sneaker community. So if you're into sneakers, now you don't have to be, but the idea is that if you post or you talk about fakes or counterfeits, you get kicked right out, man. You're just out of there. So I always thought that was really weird. How there was a lot of communities on there. Who really, really just ignored this problem, and so I decided to make my own thing. So I'm not going to post it yet because it's not ready, but I started working on it just the other day, and it's getting there. But yeah, I figured we needed a new place to post about guitars and talk about guitars without people showing off counterfeits and bragging about them and trying to promote them, and I just don't think it's right. But there's also people out there that are pretty rude on there, which is really funny. You think that if the number one rule is don't be rude, you wouldn't see rude people. So they're kind of poorly managed, poorly moderated. So, and I know it's difficult to moderate stuff. Anybody in the audience, have you guys ever moderated something? Have you ever had a place where people posted things? It gets kind of out of hand. I just want to point something out. Let me go to one of the subreddits. Again, we're not going to talk about Reddit the entire time. We're going to talk about guitars and music and things like that. But the most popular guitar subreddit is R Guitar. And if you go there, you see that there are only a couple moderators, which is really weird. Yeah, it's a really odd situation. Oh, they hid their list. Oh, interesting. It used to not be hidden. They only had like 6 or 8 moderators for like, how many people are on here? 500,000? Almost a million. It's at 800,000 people. So can you imagine having one moderator per 100,000 people? There's no way you can successfully moderate it. So anyways, so that place is pretty poorly moderated in my opinion. And then there's another one that was supposed to be the better of the two, which was R Guitars, and that one's not very well moderated either. So, they got rid of. Did they get rid of all the? Yep, he got rid of all the moderators. So yeah, so I was a moderator on there just up until the other day. Really interesting how that works. So yeah, so I guess he's decided not to. Easton says Strat or Tele. I'm a big Strat guy. I think Teles do sound better just by a bit. I don't know what it is exactly, but I do think Telecasters sound a bit better. But I mean, Strats are just so much more comfortable, and they have so much more sounds, and the fact that I think they just have a bit better style. I think Strats are the better buy. That's what I like to buy. That's what most of my guitars over here are Strats. But if you put a shootout, Telecaster all day. But you put some humbuckers or something in a Strat, and it'll get you there. I think for a more luxurious experience, even though it's way no longer the most comfortable guitar. What are you guys playing? Anybody got a guitar out there? Jonathan, you got a specific model you play? I can't remember. What do you got? What are you playing out there? Also, I have to post a video after this. WD says, looking sharp. Patricia, excuse me? What? Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Yeah, we were just talking about how there's a lot of subreddits on guitars that are kind of poorly managed, and they kind of, in my opinion, they don't really help the community as much as they could. I think if they just took a couple steps further, they could actually make things a bit better. But yeah, I have no idea. Still very confusing how the moderator from R Guitars decided to remove everybody. Because there was a guy, I remember, there was a guy, if I remember correctly, his mom got sick with cancer. And I guess he's like, too bad, get out. Which is like, what? He's just like, you can't keep him around just in case, he comes back sooner than later. I don't think he's doing anything bad. I think that's kind of a weird. What do you guys think? You think people should be removed from moderation because their mom gets cancer? I think, well, it's probably not why, to be fair. It's allegedly. But I think it's because he wasn't as available. But still, that seems kind of weird. But again, that's not exactly why. I'm not speaking on that. But it is kind of strange that they didn't seem to do anything wrong, at least in my opinion. So, but yeah, it's really weird. WD says, I'm going to rant for a second about Reddit. Oh, please do. You're sick to death of counterfeit guitars on Reddit being widely accepted. Dude, I was just talking about that. I started a new subreddit about how, it's called low sodium guitar. That's what it's called. It's called low, like no salt. No salt. No being salty about anything. It's just, hey man, we just want to talk about guitars. If you want to talk about counterfeits, go somewhere else. If you want to talk about fakes, go somewhere else. If you want to promote something, go somewhere else. We're just talking about legitimate guitars and how to make our community better, things like that. So, Gon says, do you remember when you and Jeremy did that thing at Amazon? Oh, is this a bit about what is this, a TV show or something? I'm not sure. WD says, I hope this takes off for you. I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be fine. Because I think ultimately the market and how people operate is if you're not getting what you want in one place, you just go somewhere else. It happens all the time. Look at Blockbuster. Blockbuster was a solid business idea, and they just kind of got too comfortable. They didn't innovate. And then when Netflix showed up, They had an idea and then just got destroyed. It was a whole thing. So yeah, if you don't have something that keeps people's interest, something else will come along, and just people will just flock to that, which is what I think is going to happen to these two, or at least I want to say multiple subreddits. Because another thing that happens is on Fender and Gibson and a lot of other subreddits for guitar players, they happen to see a lot of authentication posts, which, hey, you got to have them because of all the counterfeits, WD, like I was saying. Because of all the counterfeits out there, you have to be careful. You can't buy a guitar sight unseen. I mean, not that you would, but you can't be comfortable because you never know what you're buying. You might spend $500, $1,000 on something and you find out it's worth $100. And it's depressing. It's not a great experience. So not a fan. Hey, we got Rachel in the chat. What's going on? Hey, we got the Rachel. We got all the thing popping up. But yeah, back to the topic though. We're talking about how counterfeits and things like that affect everybody. It's very disturbing. People don't realize it because I have a video that's coming out very soon. I was supposed to post it before this, but I wanted to make sure this and everything else was set up properly. I didn't have a lot of time. Sometimes things come up. But yeah, so I'm going to be posting a video about how to buy a used guitar. I'm going to be posting that tonight. I'm going to post a video on how to pick up a, what's it called? Or how to not pick up counterfeits. That's a big thing. Maybe I could post it now, actually. Hold on. Should we just do this now? We got a couple hours. It's probably going to take a bit to upload. Yeah, let's give it a shot, shall we? Let's see here. But yeah, it's just not a great experience for people to buy used equipment because of all the counterfeits. And it's not a great experience to go on those forums because half or a third of the posts are just complete, just the same kind of posts. They're dead ends. Just a person going, hey, is this real? No? Okay, bye. That's it. It's like, I don't want to have that. And they don't have a good way to get rid of those posts if you don't want to see them. We had Bliss saying, would you mind listening to my song? No, sorry, buddy. No music on this channel. I know it says we're talking about it, but copyrighted music, all that stuff, we can't do it on this channel. Sorry, buddy. I got nothing for you. I wish I could. Psych, I don't. But promote your stuff somewhere else, man. Start your own YouTube channel. You got something going on there. Yeah, take care of yourself. There's plenty of stuff out there. Yeah, but you can't. My music isn't copyrighted. It doesn't matter, man. I can't. Even though you say that, it's like I can't trust you. There's too many people out there that say stuff like that, and then if you're wrong, or if it does become copyrighted later, it gets me shut down and stuff like that. So, Rachel says, I always feel bad for people who scammed buying counterfeits and they think it's legitimate. Yeah, that sucks. It really does suck when somebody goes to buy, or if they get it as a gift. You want to hear a sad story? I talked about how somebody's dad passed away. There was a post where somebody's dad passed away, and he was like, I don't know what to do with all these guitars. I got a bunch of guitars out there, and I don't play. I'm gonna sell them or something like that. He had like 10 guitars, just about, and then he found out like 9 of the 10 are fake, so he can't legitimately sell them. So they're just basically firewood. Because let me put it this way: in theory, you can just be like, hey, this is fake. Do you want to buy it? And that's what a lot of people do in the guitar community. They're very bizarrely honest. Not all, but some. And then they try to sell the guitar. And then what ends up happening is that they can't sell it for a lot because, they're not worth anything. So they can sell them for like maybe $100, $200 at the most, maybe. But regardless if they're good or not, like if you try to pawn those at a pawn shop, if you go to a guitar shop, they're going to be like, no, get this out of here. We don't want this. These are illegal to buy and sell. That's what people don't realize is that, yes, there are people that do it, but you're not allowed to. And so that's why it's kind of sad. So that kid, whatever happened with his dad, he's not going to be able to sell those guitars legally, and he could get in trouble. It is so sad, and I don't understand it. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where there's nothing you can do about it. So, all right, so it looks like I can't upload the video right now. We'll have to do that tomorrow. Easton says, if you could pick up one signature guitar, what would you buy? Ooh, what's funny about this is that technically speaking, the Les Paul is a signature model. So if you want to be, like a snarky smart ass or something, you could just be like, oh, I'd like a Les Paul custom, and because it is a signature. But I know what you're trying to say. What you're trying to say is like, for example, like a Stevie Ray Vaughan or a Billy Gibbons or something like that. Bo Diddley, one of those guitars. I'm not a big signature guitar user. So like the most likely one I would buy is probably a left-handed Fender Jaguar, the Kurt Cobain model, but I would play it righty because I'm a super nerd. That's the probably one I would buy, but that's so far down the list. Speaking of that, though, there is going to be a video of that. I'm going to be talking about guitars that I plan on buying in the future, like my top 10, top 15 guitars I want to buy sometime soon. So I don't know when, but I want to put that out too. That one's already been made, so I have a video about that. So, yeah, if you're thinking of, like, what does Pat want to buy? There's a new one that came out just the other day. There's a guitar that came out recently that I was like, no way. I'm so excited for this. Did you guys see this guitar? Here, I'm going to make myself smaller. Whoop, hold on. I'm going to post it in the chat for a second. So, hold on. Let me pull this up. It's so beautiful. And it's a good price, too. I'm really happy that Fender made it a good price. Let's see here. See if we can find the color. Oh, baby. That's it. All right, we'll pull up a Sweetwater. Not affiliated by them, but they do have some good pictures. So I'm going to pull this up for you guys. So let's see here. Window capture. Check this out. Look at that thing. Gorgeous. I've wanted one of those for so long, man. Look at this thing. Absolutely beautiful. It has like all the stuff that I like. So it has a toggle switch right there. And then for the pickup selector, which is like, why weren't they doing that to begin with? It's got the beautiful mint green kind of pick guard. So if this is white, look at the pick guard. It's like a greenish tint. Beautiful. Simplified upper horn control, which God knows I'll never use, or maybe I'll rewire it to be like coil splitting. And then it's got everything else that you'd want. It's a beautiful color. They call that faded fire mist gold, which kind of makes it look like shoreline gold, which is a guitar that's in the video. So absolutely beautiful guitar. I really want to get one of those. $1,600 made in America. The only problem, there's two problems with it. One, there's no case. So it's like, what? You're paying $1,600, you don't get a case? But you got to make it get to $1,600 somehow. So even though the cases are pretty cheap, but whatever. Yeah, no, it's pearlescent. It's like metallic, so it changes color a little bit. So if you think about this guitar, how it's that blue, it's gonna be like a gold, like a kind of a champagne. Oh, it's so gorgeous, but I can't afford that. Yeah, there you go. WD champagne. You read my mind. There you go. Oh, but yeah, that's the next guitar I really want to pick up. So that is going to be in the video. I got to edit it to put that in there. So that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, so that's the next guitar I really want to pick up. But again, $1,600. You think that's a lot, but keep this in mind: inflation, all the pricing, and the fact it's got some good modifications to it. It's got some other good colors too. Like, dude, check this out. There's a faded Sherwood green. Here, I'll go back. Look at that color. Oh! How could you not? You know what I mean? How could you not? It's a gorgeous color. Absolutely amazing. With the tortoiseshell pickguard. Oh, it's so good. That's another one. That picture's kind of not quite right, but it's close. Dude, it's so close. Man, so beautiful. Oh my God. And then there's another color. There's the, what is this? Lake Placid blue. But it's faded, so it's a little lighter looking. So that one's good too. I like that. But it's got the maple fingerboard. You can't really see it. I think they kind of messed that up. But it looks good. Looks good. See that? It's got the maple fingerboard. And then they have, you can't not have three-tone sunburst. That's the number one selling color. Number one. Yep. You got to have three-tone sunburst. But it's a black pickguard, which is like interesting. They didn't go with tortoiseshell or white. They went with black, which is like, all right. But dude, that's the one to get. That is, I mean, I haven't played one yet. I really want to try it. I have high hopes, very high hopes. Even if it sucks, change the neck. You know, even if something's like not great, it has everything else that I want. I don't have to modify it, nothing. So shout out to Fender for that one. Very happy with that. That is such an amazing, amazing thing to see. So very happy to see one of those in circulation. But they also have Strats and all the other things. So they have Jaguars and Jazzmasters and all that stuff. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, WD says, I love Sweetwater, but I get tired out from the calls from the reps. Yeah, dude, that's one of the things I'm not a big fan of about Sweetwater is I remember I bought software from them, and like for about maybe once or twice a year after that, I was like, can you stop messaging me? Valentine says, what do we think about the Player Series? Player 2, I own one, dude. They are amazing. The Player 2 is great. This thing is one of my favorite guitars I bought. Fender right now is killing it. They are annihilating, dude. So I bought this when I worked at a guitar shop. I was there when they first got released, and I was very skeptical because I didn't hate on the Player 1s, but I was like, they're good, but they're not. Is this really worth the price upgrade? Like, this was worth it. But that being said, I didn't pay full price. I paid like $600 or something, maybe $550, because I worked at the shop. So you got a discount from in-store. So I got a brand new one for like about the same as a used one. So, but I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is fantastic. I think it's great, dude. You thinking about picking one up? You buying one? Player 2? It's worth it. Buy the used one. The craftsmanship on these is so damn good. Like, I always talk about this, the cavity, laser precise. Is this a big deal? No. Are you ever going to go back there? Not really. But is the craftsmanship all there? Dude. Going from this, because I have a couple different made in Mexico ones, so it's crazy. But yeah, if you look at this, like, yes, it's painted in there, but it's like kind of, I don't want to say it's sloppy because it's still good for the money. But compared to that, oh, dude. Like, just, you're thinking, what else did they kind of go, you cut corners a little bit. I mean, we're talking like a millimeter cutting corners, but hey, it counts. Also, the neck sizes are a little different from the older ones. But, yeah, I recommend them, dude. Go out and try one for yourself, though. I love them. I don't know how your hands are or your ears, but I love them. So, KLG says, do you sing? If so, any tips for vocals? No. Vocals are very hard to teach, in my opinion, because there's nothing to see. There's no way I can just point at something and be like, hey, you're doing this wrong. You know what I mean? You just got to sing as best as you can. I'm sure there's hundreds of thousands of videos out there that have people telling you how to sing, but it's very hard, dude. It's very hard. That's why American Idol, that's why all those shows exist. Being a good singer is just, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it happens. Yeah, I got small hands too, dude. I got teeny tiny hands. I like smaller necks. I like them to be round, though. I'm a little bit kind of, like, let me put it this way. Like, I like the guitar to be smaller this way, but I like them to be slightly thicker depth-wise this way, which is weird. So, I don't know. Maybe it's because I got a bigger palm, or maybe I don't know. But I like the U-shaped necks or the C-shaped necks. If you give me a flat D-shaped neck, like on an Ibanez or like a Jackson, I'm not a big fan. Like, the wider it is, the flatter it is, not a big fan. I get it. I know why they exist, but it's just... I can't do it. Yeah, Rachel says, I got small hands. Yo, small hand gang! Small hand gang! Small hand gang! What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, because I'm going to tell you right now, dude, like Les Paul, have you seen his hands? He's got those hot dog fingers, dude. And he's got huge hands. So no wonder the 50s neck was like absolutely enormous. Absolutely enormous hands. I've talked about it so many times on the show. But, yeah, it's weird how that works, man. It's weird. Elijah says, Pat, any guitar tips? Oh, I got plenty for you. I've been playing for almost a year now and still kind of stuck. You still kind of suck? Oh, pfft. Tell me what you're struggling with. Be more specific. Are you too slow? Are you not playing the chords fast enough? Are you trying to figure out how to play it? A lot of times, I'm going to tell you something. Let me tell you something. A lot of times when you're learning to play guitar, it is less of a failure of you not learning and just it being more difficult than it needs to be. When I was learning to play guitar, I loved it so much. I played through a lot of bad like habits and painful stuff because I enjoyed it. But for most people, their tolerance for that stuff is pretty low. So it's like, if the guitar is hard to play, you're probably going to put it down. So my number one thing before you even say anything, but yeah, let me know what you're struggling with. The biggest thing that I could not understand was making sure your guitar was set up. If your guitar is not set up well, you're going to struggle. So I made a video, actually. I should probably post it on this channel. But if you go to the other channel, the Patrick Gnarly, just the main one, there's a video on how to set up your guitar. There's many guitar videos out there, too, to how to set up your guitar. But I'm going to tell you right now, there is such a relief from when you actually play guitar, literally. When you actually learn how to set your guitar up. Because a lot of people out there will be like, man, Stevie Ray Vaughan had 13s and he played them, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, dude, not everybody has Stevie Ray Vaughan or Stevie Ray Vaughan hands. We don't have that claw. So I started with 11s, which is a pretty heavy string to start with on a Strat. That's 2 gauges up. And went from 11s down to 10s, down to 9s, down to 8s. And I'm comfortable with 8s. I love 8s. I'm okay with them. But yeah, dude, just get your guitar set up. That's a big part of it. So WD says, I've been playing for like 20 years and I still can't play pinch harmonics to save your life. What? I have a video on that too. Man, I got to repost all these videos and guitar stuff. So it's funny how that works. But yeah, the big part about pinch harmonics is getting your thumb and your pick to hit at the same time, but it's in a spot. It's in a specific location. So like, for example, let me get a pick. Also helps out to get gain, like some distortion going on, but you don't absolutely need it. But yeah, let's just get some distortion. See, there's a location for every pinch harmonic because it's like a little spot. Really, it's where the pickups are. If you think about where the pickups are, you can actually find the spot where it's like a sweet spot. You can also do them upstroke. It's really funny how that works. But yeah, it's just your finger and your pick hitting the same spot. So find out where your pickup is, kind of pick around there, and you'll find the spot. So that's the best way to do it. If you could do a double pinch harmonic, that's cool. It's pretty cool. But Phil says, I just came back from Chicago. The Bean is overrated. LMAO. Really? You think so? I've never been to the Bean. Been to Chicago once. Did you go to Chicago Music Exchange? That is my favorite guitar shop in the world that I've been to. Haven't been to them all, but I'd love to. But I think they're great. WD says, I've always played with 1mm or thicker picks and thick-ass strings. Should that be an issue too? Probably. Maybe. Dude, give yourself a break. Try out. Just go down 1 gauge. Just go down 1 gauge. Or if you don't want to buy a new set of strings, just go down half a tuning. You know what I mean? Just go down from like E standard to half step down. It does so much. It does so much to you. Tim says, get the frickin' National Guard out of Chicago. Apparently they're going to San Francisco next. That ought to bring down inflation. That ought to help with Medicare, dude. Anyways, but yeah, just try it out, WD. Give your experiment. Now's the time to experiment, man. Get yourself out there. Also, I got to get this thing with new frets. Like, this thing is so worn out. The next 2 guitar purchases I have to make are not even guitar purchases. They're going to be repairs. There is a Les Paul Custom that I have on the show. I never play because the frets are too low. And this thing's getting worn out. It's still it plays pretty good, but it's getting some issues. And it's been fret recrowned like 4 times, so they are running out of juice. There's not much meat left on the bone, which I talk about in my video. Sounds great. Hey, thank you so much, Tim. I like it, but yeah, it's just I can't record with it anymore because it has issues with like tuning, not the tuning, but the actual frets because the intonation because it can't be set properly because if one fret's this high, another fret's this high, another fret's this high, it's just like yep, can't do it. Valentine says, I usually like to play an E flat standard or drop C sharp. Oh yeah, that's the newest record I put out recently, which was this one, How Tall Is the Sun, which I can't play on this show because it's the talk show version. So on the main channel on Patrick Gnarly, which is my main channel, I always hate saying that in third person, but you gotta. But anyways, that's all in half step down and mostly, and then there's one or two songs that are in slightly different tunings. But Elijah says, how do you get to move your fingers that fast and accurately? Well, I'll tell you what. The more you do something, the more developed it gets. The less you do something, the more it kind of fades away. So also you kind of figure out what your strengths are. So like trying to play some songs, trying to play some parts. These are light strings. I love the neck. The neck shapes like my hand perfectly. Everything on this I'm very familiar with. I'm very familiar with this. So that shower was fun. What are you, a duck? Anyways. What does that mean? Good job, everybody. What are you, sea otter? Man, you know what I wish you know what I wish I was good at? Floyd Roses. Floyd Roses are so cool. If you can just style on people with a Floyd Rose, you look so cool. It is such a fun moment to just be like, you know what I mean? That is cool. I don't like Floyd Roses because unless you have like a good guitar tech, dude, they just kind of go right out of tune, dude. Anybody have a Floyd Rose? Anybody use a tremolo? Can't do it. Valentine says, I love mine. Dude, here's the thing. Let me explain it this way. Going from non-Floyd Rose to Floyd Rose, bending your strings, there's a difference because as you just bend the string, the tremolo depresses. It goes down, right? It gets all sad. It goes, which kind of makes the other strings do it too. So it's like, it's very annoying. I can't do it, man. Floyd Rose, is that like the whammy bar? Yes, that is correct. Also, you guys tap that screen if you're having a good time. We're hanging out. We're back, baby. We're back playing some music. We're hanging out. But, yeah, the whammy bar. Floyd Rose is a specific model name for a double locking tremolo. So the thing with the whammy bar. So you have a lock up here, and then you have a lock down here so that the string is completely, you're not going anywhere. So it'll stretch the string, but it won't slip. So that's the thing. It's pretty interesting. It's a great design, I think, of all the tremolo systems because people talk about how the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar tremolos are good. You guys need to shut up. I hate you guys. Anybody who talks about those tremolos as being good, it's like you have to do so much maintenance on them. But then you get to the double locking Floyd Rose, and it's like the maintenance is justified because you do get a really good tuning stability. And you can do crazy stuff. Let me put it this way. The Jaguar Jazzmaster tremolo is bad because you have to do a lot of maintenance to get it to do a little bit subtle, whereas like Floyd Roses and other double locking, like the Ibanez, what is it called, the Edge 3 and Edge whatever, those ones, as soon as you like start to really wail on them, then you'll start to have problems. So. Abby says you should link this channel on your main channel. It is. There's a link in the channel description. It's in there. Nice job, Abby. Oh, I got to make you a mod on here. We're going to add... Oh, that's right. Abby, we also have these things on the channels where you have an introduction now. So anytime you jump into the chat, it'll say something like, hey, what's going on? This is like, for example, Jonathan says, what was it, number one Nirvana nerd or something? Here, I'll reset it so you guys can see it. So hold on. So hold on one second here. YouTube reset. So anytime one of these folks says something, it'll pop up with a message. So check this out. Yeah, there we go. See, it says, welcome back, WD. Great to see you in chat. Everyone say hi to Metalhead WD. And see what I mean? Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? There's some really cool little moments like that. It's a great moment to kind of check that stuff out. But anyways, but yeah, so we were talking about counterfeits. We were talking about how there's so many issues with the internet as far as specifically Reddit goes. Because let me put it this way. The Gear page, there's some other My Les Paul, there's other forums that are not Reddit related. And those ones are very like, hey, don't talk about counterfeits. Don't talk about fakes. Don't talk about this or you're out. So they're very shut it down. And I'm very approve. Like, I think that's how it should be. Yeah, Reddit can get really bad. So that's why I designed, I created a new subreddit called Low Sodium Guitar. So it's supposed to be like, no salt. No salt. None of that stuff. If you want to talk about fakes and all that shit, go to the places you should. Was it your bathroom, Chaw? Boom! Got him! Got him. Anyways, sorry about that. CJ says, do you think... Ooh, I can already read your question. You said, do you think it's better to have a cheap guitar with a good amp or a cheap amp with a good guitar? Well, it depends on what you want it to actually do. If you want to feel better with your guitar, get a guitar that you like to play. Doesn't matter the price necessarily, but a good amp is going to absolutely make a difference sonically. I think if you sit down, this is not a joke, you go to any guitar shop, you sit down with your favorite guitar or even a cheap guitar, sit down and just listen to somebody play it, right? Listen to that amp, listen to something you like to play through it. You will tell a massive difference. I used to do this every time when I used to work at a guitar shop. We had this Fender Princeton, which is one of my favorite amps of all time. I would sit down and I'd be like, just listen to the amp. Give me any guitar you like. And this amp will make it sound good. And they'd be like, okay. And then I'd sit down. Here, I'll even show you because I got a Princeton right here. So let me put on some reverb. It's the greatest. It's my favorite amp. But at the same time, you pick any good amp. You get an AC30. You get a what's it called? You get a trying to think of another great amp. The 5150, that's great for distortions. You get a Marshall. What's the Marshall everyone likes? That's the one that Box of Rock is based off. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is there's lots of great amps out there. You can get it for about $1,000 or less, and you just really get a good sound. You know what I mean? You can just. You know what I mean? You get that, like, everybody has, like, what they think of what a electric guitar sounds like. The shimmering kind of thing to it. Oh no, there's for sure a difference in like tones for guitars, but I'm going to tell you right now, a cheap guitar through a good amp will still sound good. It's how it feels. You mainly buy a guitar for how it feels. It does make an effect with the sound. So for example, I'm playing the neck pickup on the Strat. Oh yeah, just JCM 800. That's what I was trying to say earlier. Or was it the 45? So we got that. Sounds good. Sounds like a Strat. And then you get like a Les Paul. Same amp, different everything else. It's still going to sound good. It's just going to be a little different. Still really crystal clear. So again, two different guitars, two different sounds, but then you get like a little bit more distortion. You get a full humbucker. But then you just roll down the volume and but then if you want, turn that back up. And then if you got coil taps, you get that clarity. So that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that a good amp just really just clocks a guitar. It really does. But if you want to play well, if you want to feel good while you're playing, because it's a lot of what do they call that? What do they call it, where it's mainly mental ability. You know what I mean? You got to feel good. If you don't feel good, I know they call it mojo and all that stuff, but if you don't feel good while you're playing it, you're not going to play as well. You know, psychosomatic is psychosomatic. If you're not playing something that you like, you're going to feel like you're not doing good and you won't do good. If you feel good, you do good. You know what I mean? Placebo effect kind of thing. So that's a real thing. It really does make a difference. So if you want to play well, get something you like. Cool Killer says, what's the name of the plugin you use? I usually use, for my computer, I use Amplitude 4. Amplitude 4, but I really like it. Really, really enjoy it. It's also really easy to find. Get that. Roland JC 120. Jazz Chorus, baby! Beautiful, beautiful sounding guitar. Guitar amp. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a difference between guitars for tone, but it's not as much. Going from like an AC30 to like a JCM 8 or 900 or something like that, there will be a difference. You know, going from a Fender Clean to like, you know, a 5150, yeah, you're going to hear a difference. There's a whole bunch. But as far as feeling goes, it's a little bit different. Let's see here. We got more questions. Let me see. You want to get a Randall? Ooh, I'm not a big Randall guy, so I don't know anything about him. Let's see here. We got more questions. Let's see here. Elijah says, are there good pedals like the NU33 vinyl engine for? I have no idea what that is, Elijah. What is that? Tell me what that is. And Cool Killer says, you have coil taps on the Les Paul? Oh yeah, baby. I got the this is a Trad Pro 5, so it's got check this out. It has coil tap, and then it has phase. So watch this. So we can go in the middle. Let me turn down the reverb for you. Turn down that tremolo, the real tremolo. So we're in the middle pickup position, right? We'll go both single coils, so those will be kind of a telly sound. Not a huge difference, but got to get a little bit of a Strat sound out of a Les Paul, but if you hit this button, now it's I think it's the outside versus the inside. I think it's actually the vice versa. It's the inside versus the outside. See, it's a little spanky. It makes a little bit of a difference. It's subtle, but it's there, man. It's there. See, it's got a little more bass, a little more treble. Then you flip it again. A little more nasally. Dude, yeah, they're fun. I always wanted to get a Les Paul like a Jimmy Page. This is as close as you'll get, so. I think they're indispensable. I think they're great. If you get a Les Paul or something with 2 humbuckers, you got to get that single coil sound. You got to do it. Phil's got to go? All right, see you later, Phil. But yeah, I highly recommend getting as many kind of tonal characteristics as you can for you. Most of the audience is going to hear it. Most of them are not going to be paying attention. They're going to be in the context of a song. But you'll understand. You'll feel it. You might hear it a little bit. You might forget, but it's still there. So, Valentine says, are you a pedal geek like me, or you just go straight through the amp? I got a couple pedals. I like pedals, but my friend Steve, who is arguably a much, much more invested guitar player as far as pedals go, he definitely was more of a pedal guy than I do. I basically find a pedal that I like and then keep it on there. I have a whole video of all my gear on my other channel. Man, I got to move all those videos over here. But yeah, I got a video that shows all my gear on my pedals. Right now, I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pedals on my pedal board, and 2 of them are reverbs. So, because I wanted 2 different reverb settings. But I do need to get my delay pedals back. So, let's see here. Cal says, what type of guitar should I get next? I'm trying to learn guitar. What do you want? What's interesting to you? I always talk about this because I can talk about what I like, but me and you, we don't got the same ears. We don't have the same hands, baby. You know what I mean? It's not a great way to try and get recommendations. You know, it's like saying, what kind of sandwich should I get? I don't know, man. Do you like pickles? You know what I mean? Because this right now is kind of a Strat thing going on. But then, you know, you engage all the humbuckers and stuff like that. It gets a little more distorted. A little more fuller. Less clarity. But yeah, what are you thinking about getting, Cal? Let me know. Anybody else thinking about buying a new guitar? I was just talking about the one I want to get next, which I won't be getting for probably another year or two. But I got to get some repairs. I got to fix my Strat. I got to fix my Les Paul Custom. Got to do all that stuff. And it's going to be expensive. So rather than buy a new guitar, I'm going to fix what I got, which I do enjoy. Save some money. Cal says, thinking about a Tele or a Les Paul? Go try them both, dude. They're pretty different. Dude. They are very distinct. The Tele's going to be obviously a little more cleaner with a little more mid-range kind of thing. But it's going to be not... I would say that Les Pauls are more comfortable than Teles. Anybody agree? Hot takes? Teles more comfortable than Les Pauls? I think Les Pauls are just a bit more comfortable. Just enough. So, oh, thank you so much, WD. Oh yeah, it was my birthday on the 18th. We're gonna be celebrating it tonight, just so you guys know. I'm gonna be doing a free show with music and stuff on the main channel. But Cool Killer says, "What's the next one, Pat?" We were just talking about it earlier. It's the Fender American Professional, the American Pro. Classic. God, they really got to work on those. They're starting to get Gibson with it, but the American Pro Classic. So it would be, let me see if I can get this going. Hold on, because I was showing it earlier. So is it this one? Window? Nope. Where's the window? Is it this one? Nope. Is it, let me try something here. Hold on. We need a window. Where are we? I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Window capture. I have it open on my computer still, so I'll show you guys what it's supposed to look like. Boom. This is the one I want to get next. Love the color. If you notice, I like some metallic colors. So if you check this out, you can see it kind of looks like, let me take this out of here. Looks like my blue Lake Placid blue one. Right here. See? But no humbucker, but it's got the pickup selector. It's got a toggle. Thank God Fender was listening to me. I sent them an email 10 years ago. See, it's got the toggle, so you don't have to modify that anymore. It does go up and down instead of left and right, which is weird. Or I'm sorry, it goes left and right instead of up and down, like mine. But whatever. But the color! Can we talk about the color? Beautiful. It's this metallic. Look at that. It looks like a sandy champagne-looking thing. 15 is crazy. That's low, dude. $1,600. That's low from what they used to be. If you wanted to get a reissue or something like that, they were like close to 20, 22 or something like that. Like, I get it. It's higher than usual, but at least they did everything I wanted. I think it's great. I think it's a great color, great mods, made in America. The only problem is no case. No case. Oh, you're talking about WD? Oh, I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Let's see here. But yeah, just a big fan. Big fan of this guitar. They also have the, look at this color. Tell me your mom wouldn't love that. Look at that. Faded Sherwood green. It's got this light. I don't think it really looks like that in real life. That's what it more looks like. It's a little darker. See, it's a little darker, but it's got the tortoiseshell. One of the few guitars I think does a good job with the tortoiseshell. I think white would look better. So, and then you got to get the Lake Placid blue, but they decided to go maple. Look at that. They went maple. I think it looks good. I think it would look better rosewood, but the lightness of it looks great. So I don't think that's a bad move. But it's got all the modern stuff that you need. But yeah, it's got a good price too. So I'm really happy with that. 3-tone sunburst for some reason in Blackguard, but it's like, hey, no problem. So big fan of the new Jaguars. Big fan. Hey, how you doing? If you guys haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Tap that screen if you're having fun just chit-chatting about guitars. Talking about music, talking about streaming, all that stuff. But yeah, we were talking about what guitar am I going to buy next, which is going to be a video. I talked about this earlier. There's a new video going to be coming out on this channel talking about the new guitars. So Carbon says the only thing I dislike about these guitars is the bridge. For sure, dude. Fender knows they can make a good bridge. They just haven't done it yet. You got to get a mastery bridge or something else. Like the Mustang bridge is okay. I don't think it's everybody's favorite choice. Yeah, not a fan. Yeah, once you get a mastery bridge, you're like, why aren't they building this? Getting a mastery bridge is so damn important. Like, I don't want to play anything else. Wilkerson's, I used to have one. I'm telling you, man. $200, it's a lot. It's a big price to chew on, but it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, but we got another hour left on the show as far as topics to go. But what do you say we go on? What do you say we go on Reddit for a little bit? Let's check out what everybody else is talking about for a second. So hold on, let me just make myself a little smaller. We'll kind of poke some fun at some people being obnoxious and stuff. Chaw says, Pat, do you play bass? No, thank God. I play guitar. I make sure I feed my ego twice a day. Bass couldn't do it. Not for me. All right, so let's see. What do we got on Reddit? We're just going to go, because I was talking about how there's a lot of issues with counterfeits and stuff like that on Reddit right now, and it's like, what's the point? You know, it's like really silly. So what do you got? We got a window, right? We had a window we were just pulling up. So let me get rid of these. Hold on. All right, we got the browser thing. Did anybody subscribe? If you subscribed, thank you so much for being here. Let's see, window capture. Here we go. Let's go to the front page of the fart. Let's see here. We're going to make this a little smaller so we can kind of look at it together. Yeah, let's see all this garbage. And then we'll pull this down. Yeah, we'll look at some guitar stuff together because there's a lot of weird counterfeit stuff and it's really annoying. So let's see here. Let's go to guitars. Let's see here. Where's the guitar subreddit? There we go, guitar. There we go. So these are all the guitar things. Can you guys see this all right? Can you read it all right? Yeah, we got somebody looking for help identifying a guitar. This is another problem that people have. No picture. No picture. Very lame. Very lame. Cal says, also question, why beach background? Why not like stock concert footage? I like the background. I don't know. I think concert footage would be like kind of distracting. I think this is a pretty nice little experience for people. Okay, here we go. Somebody says, I need help looking for help identifying this guitar. See, this is a common thing that people do. And I think helping people identify stuff is great. The problem is there's a lot of people that are trying to tell if something's fake or not. And I think those are kind of dead-end posts. And I think really most people don't really appreciate seeing those. So I feel like there needs to be like a button that says hide authentication posts. Because, ooh, it looks like mine. Look at that. Check this out. Hey, somebody's got good taste. Look at that. That's 94. If you guys want to learn something about Fenders for a second. Fender has, this is in my latest video I was talking about. Fender has a really interesting way of doing their serial numbers. So if you want to learn something, so see how it says made in Mexico right here? You see M is for Mexico. And then N, does anybody want to take a guess what these numbers mean? I'm going to tell you right now. N is for 90s. E is for 80s. S is for 70s. So this is a 1994. Check that out. It's pretty easy to read Fender serials. So you got the 90s. They use like an abbreviation for the decade, and then whatever the number is. So here's what's interesting though. Once we got to 2010, they didn't use T for 10. They used an X. They used a Roman numeral, X. So if you have a X or MX, whatever number, you can see that. So now you know a little bit about Fender serials, if you guys didn't know. Yeah. So, yeah, you guys can check that out. So this is supposed to be a Made in Mexico 1994. So this is very interesting. If you look at the logo here, too, check this out. They call this spaghetti logo. So if you look, where's that other guy with the Fender... whatever. Oh, he didn't post his picture. That's right. He's a nerd. I'll show you a picture of my guitar so you can see the difference in the logo. So if you look at mine for a second, it might be a little blurry, but you notice this isn't like spaghetti. It's like a block. So this is like the CBS era in the 70s. So if it's a blocky one, you wouldn't call it spaghetti. So the idea is that if you see a Fender with the spaghetti logo like this, that usually means it's like a vintage style one. If you look at the tuners too, check this out. See how the tuners go like through these slots that go into the tuner instead of like through a hole? So these are vintage style tuners. So we have a very interesting spaghetti style logo. We got the vintage tuners. So somebody modified this, it looks like. Or this is it looks like a road worn maybe, but it doesn't look very worn. So let's see what the comments are saying. Let's see if anybody's got some bright ideas. I believe you identified it. Okay, so it says this is Mexican Strat, has a humbucker and an extra switch. I believe it turns the... I like how the most helpful comment, the number one comment here is, I believe you identified it. And it doesn't even tell it what model or anything like that. Like, what the... Cool Killer says, what year did Strats have the fatter headstocks? I love those. That is the CBS era. So I'll give you guys a little explanation of what the eras of Fender are. I actually talk about them in my video. But so in the early days, Fender was owned by Leo Fender. So I'm going to shut this off so we can talk about this. Get this out of here. Oop. There we go. There we go. So Leo Fender back in the 50s, early 50s, late 40s, he ran a factory, very small. When I say factory, I mean like workshop. He ran a workshop. Bottom line is it was all made by hand, screwdrivers, tools, things like that. And then later on, after success, Fender was like so cool. We're talking like 15, 20 years. So but right around the 60s, what happened is Fender thought he was getting sick. Leo Fender, he's like, I'm getting sick. I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to get out of here. So what he did is he sold the company to CBS. And you're probably thinking CBS like the TV thing, like the broadcasting company. Yes. Unbelievably, the broadcasting company is like ABC and NBC and all that stuff. They owned Fender, which is like, what? But yeah, apparently that was a common thing for like companies back in the 70s and stuff. They still own weird things. So what they did is this is interesting. One of the first things they did was after they got all the factories and stuff is they made the headstock bigger. So you'll see on a lot of Squiers, the headstock will be bigger. So I can show you what it kind of looked like. The Jaguar that I have has a bigger headstock. If you look, see how much bigger the nose is, or the scroll as they call it. I think it looks like a dragon nose, but you know, what do I know? But yeah, see how much bigger this is in comparison? So if you're looking for the fatter headstocks, what you're looking for is the CBS era. So from like the mid 60s to the 80s. So yeah, look at the size difference. It's not huge, but it's there. So yeah, you're looking for that CBS era. So if you're looking for a Hendrix style Strat, you're looking for that. In fact, you can there's a really good Jimi Hendrix style Strat that is like backwards, and it's so cool. One of the coolest things on a guitar I've ever seen. It's so imaginative. We all know Jimi Hendrix. I knew that's why you asked. Nobody asks about CBS. I'm actually cool with the CBS era. There's another thing the CBS era Fender did, which is they took the headstock, made it bigger, but they also added a 5-way switch. They had 3 pickups, but they didn't have 2 middle positions. Can you believe that? For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, on Strats, they have a switch right here. So I don't know if you can see this, but it's got 1 position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what it is it's bridge pickup, bridge and middle, middle and neck, and neck. And it gives you a bunch of different sounds, different kind of things. So they didn't add that till the 70s. So they had these 3 pickups, but it was either on or off every time. There's no mixing and matching. What? It took them like 30 years to figure that out. So shout out to the CBS era for doing that. But all right, so we were going back to the Jimi Hendrix Strat. I think my favorite, at least ideally, if you're not familiar with the Jimi Hendrix Strat, Jimi Hendrix played his guitar upside down. You know what I mean? He took a right-handed guitar and flipped it. He flipped it. But they made one for right-handed players to do what Jimmy did. You're thinking, okay, why didn't they just buy a left-handed one, right? That's not a big deal. Just buy a lefty and flip it like he did. Well, they wanted to make it special. So what they did was they made a model, and this is my favorite because it's not super expensive. They made one with reversed writing. So if you took a picture and you reversed it, it would look correct. What a genius idea! Dude, Fender is so cool for doing that. It looks so badass, dude. Oh, it's so cool. They made a modern one later, which looks lame. Here, I'll pull it up. We'll pull it up. I keep doing this. Hold on. Let's see here. Let me delete this one. Okay, so let me pull this up. Window capture. We'll look at it together. So there's all the Hendrix Strats and stuff like that. So this is the lame one. This is the lame one. I'll tell you why it's lame. It's because it's just a right-handed Strat, but it has a reverse headstock, which is like, and it's got a reverse bridge pickup. Whatever. Who cares? You know what I mean? Okay, it's not good enough, but you got to buy the one that has the reverse writing, so you feel cool. And I think that was in 2001, maybe? Let's see if I can find it. It was so cool. But yeah, or hold on, maybe it was the 90s. Reverse logo. I saw one in person the other day, and it was so cool. Oh, dude, if you buy one, I'll freak out. It is so badass. They're so cool. Because, again, they don't do stuff like that anymore. They still do weird stuff. They don't do that much of weird stuff. Was it the 90s one? Let me look up 90s. See if that's it. 97. Boom! 97. Shut your mouth. Here it is. Okay, I found a picture of it. I'm a genius. So there's the headstock. See how it's reversed? See how up here it's like backwards? The F it's all reversed. Look at that! It is so cool. It's here, let me make it bigger so you guys can see it, but it is such a genius. I don't know who at the factory was doing what, but God, you're thinking, oh, Patrick, it's a left-handed Strat. Like, who cares? Again, it's the little details that make it cool. It's the reverse writing. So if you take a picture with that and you reverse it, it's missing a string. That's really funny. Come on, Guitar Center. What are you guys doing, dude? We got to get this picture out there immediately. No, you don't. See, there you go. Perfect. See the headstock? It's how it's reversed. That is so cool. Don't lie to me. That is sick. And they're not that expensive either. This one's about $2,000. So for the price of a regular Strat, like a professional Strat, you could get the cool left-handed one that looks like Jimi Hendrix's. You know what I mean? You got to get it. I think you can get them cheaper than that, actually. I think $2,000 is a little high. Let me go back. 97. Look up 1997. But I don't know how they play. I've never played one. They could be a little odd, but dude, I'm telling you, you buy that, dude. You better let me play it when we hang out someday. I will absolutely, because I used to play a left-handed Strat upside down, and people used to get mad at me. You gotta get it. It's so badass. But I'll say this real quick. Jimi Hendrix is known for the Strat from what's the festival? God damn it! Why am I blanking on this? The festival. Everybody knows him from. What am I talking about? Chat, yell at me. What is the name of the festival he's known for playing that Strat in? Woodstock. Thank you so much. Why did I remember that? I know some stuff, but then I forget other stuff. It's just a bag of rats in here. Anyways, so everybody knows him from that CBS era Strat, but he actually did not play those guitars that much. He was not a 70s guy. Remember, that was 69, right? So that guitar really wasn't as big. So he played like pre-CBS Strats all the time. Let me see if I can pull this up. Because I was watching something on this because, Jimi Hendrix is cool. So having his like Strats, because he used to smash them all the time too. He was not a big CBS guy. In fact, I think if you get a 64 Strat or 63, those are the ones he used to play all the time. So let me see here. I'll tell you what he's got. Hold on. So let's see here, because he's got the maple fretboard on that one. What has he got here? What's he got here? That looks like that's a CBS era Strat. And then he switched to Flying V's and SGs too, which is like, what? So, I mean, anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is that there's plenty of pictures, but everything's coming up with the Woodstock one. But you can see that he actually used not as many later CBS stuff. So, anyways, bottom line. Yeah, that's how it goes. But any other questions? Anyone else want to talk about guitars? Anybody got any ideas? What do we got here? Cal says, all right, I got things to do. I'm out of here. Come back anytime. I play music on my main channel. This is the one where we talk about music and stuff. So, Jonathan says, didn't Hendrix have a Mustang and Duosonic at some point? I wouldn't put it past him. I don't remember seeing it. But he did play a Jazzmaster for a while. He played a righty Jazzmaster, flipped. So that was really weird. That was like definitely not something most people did. Yeah, it's pretty wild how that works. But yeah, he played a Jazzmaster for a while. I'm sure he had a Duojet and Duosonic. He played all sorts of guitars. He had a Flying V at one point. He had that SG at one point. He had so many different guitars. But I think he preferred Strats for the most part. And we all identify him as the Strat Man. Cool Killer with another $5. Thank you so much. Love hearing you spaz guitar facts at us, dude. I used to get in trouble when I used to work at a guitar shop. People would be like, can you shut up and just sell the guitar? My managers always used to say that. They always used to be like, Pat, man, sit down. Real quick. My old manager, Tracy. Hey, man, sit down. Hey, man, sit down. Why don't you take a break for a sec, man? How you doing, man? You doing good? All right. Hey, how about this? How about you next time you talk to a customer, ask them if they got what they want and get them out the door. It was so funny, dude. Tracy. And then my old other managers. But yeah, thank you so much. Everyone said they get a Cool Killer for sending us a donation. Second one of the night. He did work at a guitar shop. Dude, I worked at guitar shops for many years. I worked at a couple of them. I don't like saying which ones because I don't like giving them, like, what's the word? I don't like giving them free advertising. But I did work at a couple different ones. But guitar shops are really fun to work at because then you see there's so many people that come in and they expect you to know everything. But like guitar has been around for 75 years. So imagine like somebody coming in and asking you, hey, I need to know 75 years worth of knowledge right now. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild how that works. So yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, I said that before. I worked at a guitar shop, but WT says Patrick was once a large chain store. Was one a large chain store that everybody would know? 100%, yes, 100%. I even have pictures of it. So, what's the oldest guitar in my collection? Rachel says easy. That would be the '87 Les Paul Custom that I have. That would be this guy. So, beautiful guitar. I love this thing to death. This, actually, I bought off of a friend who used to work at the first guitar shop I worked at, David Lay. Thank you so much, David Lay, for selling this to me. He sold this to me for like $1,400, which was like my whole paycheck at the time because I was a guitar salesman and, you got paid commission and stuff like that. And if you do well, you got paid pretty well. But that's when I was 20. I was 20 when I got this. I'm 34. As of 2 days ago. I'm 34. So it's been a long time with this guitar, and I really love it, but the frets are getting older, man. The frets are getting real old, so they are real light frets. Yeah, it's not a great experience. Light frets, small frets happens, but yeah, the idea is that it's a great guitar, but I have to really get this thing taken care of. Yeah. Shaw says, "Dang, you look young." It's an optical illusion because one, you're looking at me through a camera. Two, the fact that I'm on video and your phone, the quality's lower, and the fact that I got long hair covers up my facial features, all that stuff. But yeah, so I turned 34 the other day. So thank you, I appreciate that. What else we got here? B Todd says, "I thought he was 26, 28. Well, to be fair, I think time stopped for all of us before COVID. So I think a lot of our aging kind of slowed down. So I'll take it. Thank you. But I'm telling you, you look at me in real life, you're going to be like, "No, you look old." But no, this is a great guitar. I loved it. But it's 87, so it's older than me. But it's a fantastic guitar. It's not vintage by any means. A lot of people like to say, "Oh, anything 25 years older is vintage." I get it, but the thing is that vintage being anything I would say pre-80s, pre-70s, really, would be considered a quote vintage guitar because that's when they first started. So when somebody says, "Do you like vintage guitars?" they're not talking about the 80s and 90s. That's a kind of a different era. It's kind of a misnomer. Like if you think about cars, same idea. If you're talking about vintage cars, I mean that goes back even further. You're talking about the 40s, the 30s, even. Yeah, if you're talking about vintage and you're talking about the 90s, get him out of here. That's not vintage. It is by definition, but most people would look at your 93 Strat and be like, "Get that shit out of here." You know what I mean? Yeah, get that out of here. But yeah, fantastic guitar. Love it. Beautiful. Great sounding, great playing. David Lay, thank you so much for selling this to me. Everybody was pissed at the office, on the guitar shop. Everybody was mad at me. They were like, "Where did David Lay's guitar go?" And I was playing it at work one day because I was trying to get something done on it. And I was looking for an amp. I was trying to buy an amp, so I brought my guitar to check it out. And everyone's like, this one guy, I can't remember his name. I think his name was Schaefer. He comes up and he's like, "Where'd you get that? Is that David Lay's?" Oh. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Did he sell it to you?" And I was like, "Yeah." He told me not to tell anybody, but, a couple months went by. But thank you again, David. He said, "Don't ever sell it." So I haven't sold it. I want to get it fixed up. So I used that guitar on What I'm Looking At. So if you like that sound on that guitar, on that track, that's what I'm looking at. I used that guitar on it. But yeah, it's pretty fun. WD says, "Agreed. Somebody told me about their vintage Hondas 2001. Get them out of here! 2001? That's not vintage. I think there needs to be a second word for it now. You know what I mean? There needs to be there's vintage, which is like the early golden era of something. And then there needs to be something else. Can we invent a word? What's a new word for vintage? Vintage synonyms. Yeah, they're pre-80 exactly, Corbin. I agree with you 100%. Before OBD3, OBD2, what is it? What's the one? Nostalgic era. Yeah, there needs to be a new word. Yeah, because there's antique, vintage, OBD2, okay, OB2, yeah. Seasoned. This one's all seasoned, yeah. My brother, you coming off very nice seasoned right now. Unseasoned. Come on, man. Nostalgic, not vintage, yeah. Let's think about it. Let's break down what's the etymology of vintage. Etymology. We're going to study the history of the word vintage. It is Latin. It is Latin for vinum, which means wine. Oh, really? Oh, vino, vintage. Oh, I get it. Vendemia. Vendage. Winter. English. Vintage. No shit. Vintage just means wine. What is that? So we got to come up with another word. Vintage. Harvest. Very cool. I have to sneeze again. Oh. Excuse me. All right. Okay, so if vintage means very old. Maybe vinted? Maybe vinted? Antique sounds older, though, doesn't it? Thank you. Vinted. Vintish. Oh, did we think of it? Vintish. Vintish. I think that's the new one. It's not vintage, it's vintish. I like it. I think it's good. Yeah, antique's like super old. It's vint-ish. There we go. Yeah, there's vintage guitars and there's vint-ish guitars. There we go. I love it. I think that works. That's going to be hard to say, though, because it sounds similar, but I think we got something. We got something. At least we can get the point across in text. So, vintage. There we go. I like it. Perfect. Perfect. I love it. We figured out something. Vint-ish. So, yeah. So, if your guitar is not vintage, it's vint-ish. Tyler says, what's your favorite guitar? I love Strats, man. I love Strats. I love Les Pauls. I'm a pretty generic person as far as guitars go, which is funny. But I also, I have my opinions that make them not generic. But I like Jaguars, for example. Vint-ish sounds like a diss to me. I mean, it kind of is if you think about it. It's not quite there. But yeah, all the guitars I have here, I have a couple over here. I have ones the show has never seen on the in my collection and stuff. What kind of mic do I use? Oh, I mean, I use a E935, but I'm going to tell you right now, the quality of the sound is not the quality of the mic. You could use an SM57. You could use whatever you want. Their microphones, I'm going to say something, this is probably not a hot take, but there's a lot of microphones out there now that are damn good quality. Like, you could use an iPhone quality, and it would still sound good. So, Corbin says, do you have any PRS? No. The only PRS I would ever buy, I think, is the McCarty 10 top with, like, in natural. I'll show you guys what that looks like. So, but I'm not a big PRS guy. I do like the company a lot, but I'm not like a big, like, everybody should own one. I love the company in the respect of their factory. I like how they make things. I think their quality control is incredible. I think that Paul Reed Smith, the problem with him, and there's a video I'm coming out about this, the problem with Paul Reed Smith, the problem with PRS guitars, and I think people don't really identify it, but PRS has no star power, and I've talked about this many times. Yes, there's John Mayer. Yes, there's Santana. Yes, there's Herman Lee and all these other artists, but there's not enough. There's not enough artists out there that people really like. So there's not any model people kind of have like a big like connection to for the most part. So like Strats, you have you take one guitar, the Fender Stratocaster. There are so many models that people really like. They have their own signature models, etc. You take one model and it's that. But PRS does not have that kind of star power to it. So, and I think the reason why there's no star power, because you're thinking, okay, you have a PRS. Why don't people like it? Because people don't like it. Okay. That doesn't answer the question. It's because Paul doesn't, in my opinion, he doesn't make guitars for artists, if that makes sense. Because think about it this way. John Mayer could have had any goddamn guitar he wanted. What did he choose? A Strat. That is like the biggest joke on the planet. That they got John Mayer and they're like, finally, we got somebody cool. And he went, can I get a Strat? Let me get a Strat. And then Paul just like his head exploded. But that's basically what he did. Yeah, he basically said, we'll give you a Strat. Please don't leave us. We need star power. And then they just made somebody else's guitar. That's why Paul Reed Smith is incapable of making something that captures the audience. It's because, here it is. I found it. Oh, I want gold hardware, though. Oh, I got to type gold hardware. Yeah, that's just the main problem with Paul Reed Smith is they just cannot make something that people like. It's just they always make something for Paul, if that makes sense. So, and this is the only Paul Reed Smith I would probably ever buy. So let me window capture. We'll do one more of these. I'll show you. This is the only one I really like, which is probably one of the least Paul Reed Smith models, if you think about it, in my opinion at least, because it's a McCarty. It's supposed to be for Ted McCarty. So, yeah, here you go. This is it. I think it's gorgeous. It's very plain, but I like the gold hardware. I like the flame on it. This is not a great flame, honestly. It's not a 10 top. Even though it says it, it's not really a 10 top. But I just like the simplicity of this model. You get the humbuckers, you get the gold hardware. pickup selectors is kind of way out there for some reason, but yeah, that's what Paul does. But yeah, that's kind of what they do. That's the only PRS I've thought about buying. Here's why. I saw somebody with one Home Depot guitar. That's funny. I liked it, but I saw them with it, and it just looked a lot better in person. So I just don't think they have a good look for most people in photographs. When you see them in person, they do a lot better. But anyways, Corbin says, in your opinion, who is the most underrated guitarist? Mine is Prince. Oh, dude, he always is on the top 5 of underrated. So I think he's actually rated appropriately. It's just his main issue is that, like, when he wrote the guitar, the parts that he did, he also did everything else. So he's not known as just a guitar player. Like Jimmy Page. Jimmy Page did so many things, but he's mainly known as the guitar guy because he only played guitar. If you're a singer and you play guitar, your guitar skills, doesn't matter what it is, they all automatically get pushed down no matter what you do. You're a singer, you become a singer first. That's how it works. It's very weird, but yeah, there's a lot of singers who play guitar and they just immediately everybody knows them as the singer. Same with David Gilmour. Oh yeah, everybody loves David Gilmour's guitar playing. But like, he's more known as like an expert songwriter, but he is always on the top, whatever, of guitar players. So a lot of guitar players, singers though, they kind of push down their guitar skill to focus on the singing. B Todd says, do you know the Come As You Are book? Yes, I used to own that. I think if you're going to read any biography, in my opinion, about Nirvana, that's the one to read, even though there are some issues. For example, he downplays his drug use, which is like obvious. But they have a foreword that they came out with later, and they talk about that stuff, so it pops up. But I think that's the one to read. All the other ones I hear have many, many, many problems. So I'm not sure what, but yeah. But as far as underrated guitar players go, I'm not sure, man, because I feel like a lot of people kind of rate guitar players appropriately. Because even though I like them, I could see why most people don't like them. This is kind of an issue with democracy kind of thing. I was actually watching a video recently talking about democracy and things like that, and how it's obviously, ultimately, it's for the good. But if you notice, there's a lot of people out there that claim to be democratic that aren't democratic. For example, you got China, you got Russia, etc. But ultimately, democracy is great. But when people decide things, some people feel like there's underrated, like it should be higher up. But like, when you're trusting the grand group of people, like everybody they asked, you have to think 30% or maybe 40% of people just didn't even vote. People didn't even ask or answer the question. So it's really hard to take the popular opinion seriously. But it is also like, if you cared, you would have said something. So it's like, it's hard to tell about that. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that I think that for the most part, when people say something's underrated or overrated, it kind of makes sense. Look, it Smells Like Teen Spirit from Nirvana. Like, that always gets talked about. Nirvana hasn't been playing music for 30 years. So it's one of those things where people say, oh, Smells Like Teen Spirit, overrated. But it's like, well, I know, but the idea is everyone keeps talking about that one song. So until somebody talks about something else, I don't know why it's overrated. You know what I mean? It's all people talk about. So that's what people are rating things at. It's in your opinion. Is it overrated or is it underrated? Do I think that people should be paying attention to something more than they should? I don't know. But ultimately speaking here is that I think it's about right. Yeah, because I remember when I was a kid, check this out. When I was a kid, I remember thinking Jimi Hendrix was overrated because everybody said he was good. Everybody said he was number one. And when you're a kid, you're just you're automatic. You kind of just resist things when you're a teenager. And then I actually somebody made it very clear. They actually made this very good point. They said, listen to everything pre-Hendrix. Listen to everything pre-Beatles. When people say they're overrated, look at before and after. And then I went, oh, everything was way different. Because, well, here's the thing, though. If you look at Jimi Hendrix, when he played, like, I've seen stuff like that before. You know, people do the teeth, and they play behind the back. But then you go before that. Here's how everybody played guitar before Hendrix. Like, you know what I mean? Here's what they do. Oh, I tell you something. I want to hold. You know what I mean? They play up here, and they're, like, big nerds. And they play a couple chords, and then, like, maybe a guitar solo is like... And then, of course, you got your Buchanans. You got your Chuck. Who am I thinking of? Who's the guy with Gretsch? Who's the guy with Gretsch who did like a whole bunch of great stuff? You know what I'm talking about. There's a bunch of other guitar players that were good, technically. They wrote some good songs. But it's just they didn't actually take off the way that they could have because it just Chuck Berry. Well, Chuck Berry, yes. I'm thinking of the other guy who did Gretsch. He played Gibson stuff. Who's the big Gretsch guy? Yeah, they're good. Yeah, see, Cool Killer knows what I'm talking about. Gretsch. Chet Atkins. I said Chuck. Chet Atkins. He's great. On a technical level, he's nuts. Everybody in the early days was Les Paul. Les Paul was nuts. But did they write songs everybody really enjoy? That's part of the deal. You got to write something that everybody likes. So it's a bit different. It's a bit different how that goes. So when you're talking about major artists and things like that, it always goes back to this ultimately. Who was really good at writing music? You could be Tosin Abasi, who's excellent at playing guitar. He also is really good at writing music. Like everybody in that band's really good at writing music. Jimi Hendrix changed the planet. Everything, he wrote good-ass music that was heavily innovative. You know what I mean? He wrote all this stuff that was beautifully sang and played. He's awesome. Everybody before that was pretty good, but they didn't write good enough songs. Cool Kelly, you said you were talking about, you emailed me, you said something about Devin Townsend. I remember that. Dude, it's nuts. It's nuts how much has changed with guitar playing in specific people. And you could see milestones of certain artists that once they came out, nothing was the same after that. Jimi Hendrix is specific to that. So, but again, back to that question of who do I think is overrated or underrated? I don't know. I think everybody's pretty much rated appropriately for the most part. At least I don't think anybody should be listening to somebody specific and they aren't getting listened to them. You know what I mean? I don't think secret or good music stays a secret for long, you know? It's just not a big thing like that. B. Todd says, what do you think of Bob Dylan? I like Bob Dylan. He's got some good stuff. I remember, like, later, though, he didn't really capture my attention. My dad actually went to go see Bob Dylan years ago, and he said it was the worst show he'd ever been to because he didn't play a single hit. Not a single song did he play that my dad recognized from, like, all his older stuff. And to be fair, he's been playing music for what? Like 50 years now or something? He was in black and white television, you know? So it's been a long time since he's been playing music. So at that time, I say 50 years, at that time. So him just like showing up is just like, what? Yeah, he's not going to play any of his. He's not playing Mr. Tambourine Man. You know what I mean? He's not doing it. So Valentine says, I've been noticing an Alice in Chains trend lately. You know what's interesting? This is something I noticed. I thought Deftones, because Deftones is one of my favorite bands. I thought Deftones was a lot bigger recently than they were. Check this out. So I thought Deftones was absolutely monstrous, and they're still really big. But here's what's weird. If you go over like Spotify numbers, without looking, how many plays a month does Deftones have? And they just came out with a new album. How many plays do you think Deftones has? I thought it was in the 100 millions. I thought it was like 500 million or something like that. I thought they were astronomical. They only get 8, and this is with a new album that came out. They get 18 million monthly listeners. And that's a lot. But it's not nearly as much as I thought. Let's look at Alice in Chains. Let's look at Alice in Chains. Again, big bands. Alice in Chains gets a bare 10.5 million. Still a lot. A band that's not been around for a while. So I thought that they were still hugely popular. I think that we're getting like algorithm bias because I thought they were way bigger. Nirvana gets 35 million. They have not come out with a single song since technically in 2004, but you know what I mean. That was one song. But it's weird, right? It's weird how that works. Meanwhile, Sabrina Carpenter's got 77 million. I never hear her music. So I think that this is algorithm bias, dude. I really do. It's crazy how that happens. So you got Sabrina Carpenter with 77 million, but again, it's like I don't understand it. I never really listen to Sabrina Carpenter, and I hang out with people. They don't listen to Sabrina Carpenter. Like I heard Sabrina Carpenter 2 days ago once because we were at a wedding. But you see what I mean? Like I hear Deftones every day in people's posts. I hear Alice in Chains every day in people's posts. So obviously there's some algorithmic bias here. There's some, hey, you like this. You like this. You like this. You know what I mean? Was it 2002? Was that 2004. Was 2004 with the lights out? Is that what I'm thinking of? With the lights out was 2004. Okay, yeah, and then the Black Album. You Know You're Right. That came out. Was that 2002? Okay, I got it mixed up. Yeah, 2002. Yep. So it's October. Hey, the anniversary just came up. It came out. When did it come out in October? October 8th. Very cool. So it's been 13 years. No, it's been 23 years. Good Lord. I kept thinking, oh, it's 2015. Psh. Yeah. Get your facts straight, pal. Yeah, I was thinking of the With the Lights Out album that came out. Very funny. Anyways, so we got, but that's the point I'm trying to make here is that they came out with one new song 23 years ago, and they have half as many plays as Sabrina Carpenter. And again, there's obviously a popularity. Sabrina Carpenter's newer, so they have better marketing. But more people listen to Nirvana over the past 30 years. Sabrina Carpenter's been, when did her first album come out? How long ago was that? So is it more popular, or does it just have more plays? Because you got to think of all the albums that came out before, all the plays that came out before. We can't count the radio plays or anything like that. It's got nothing. So let's see here. We got, let's see what Sabrina Carpenter's first album came out with. 2015. She's been around for 10 years. 10 years, folks. I didn't hear about her till 3 years ago, 2 years ago. She had an album come out called Short and Sweet, 2024. She had Emails I Can't Send, 2022. Singular Act, 2 and 1. You know what I mean? What is that? What's going on here? So, again, it's weird. It's weird how that goes. Smells Like Teen Spirit, billions of plays. Yeah, that one song. Huge. Huge. Let's look at Outkast. Outkast is pretty big. They get 23 million. They haven't released an album anytime soon. They didn't. The last record they came out with was what, 2000s? Something like that. Pretty crazy. So, anyways, that's the point I'm trying to make here is when you hear oh, Alice in Chains is getting bigger. I thought the same thing. But there is a thing that happens, which is hey, it sees you got a jean jacket, you got long hair, you got a bunch of guitars. It's hey, I bet you this guy likes Alice in Chains. Because I'll tell you what, I don't see anything about Sabrina Carpenter, and she's bigger than all the bands that I like combined, apparently. So isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? We get stuck in these little bubbles. We got bubbles. Yeah, isn't that weird? White Stripes, for example, no album. Yeah, exactly. 2007. How big are they? Are they still holding on? Yeah, 14 million. Seven Nation Army, 2 billion views. 2 billion plays on Spotify alone. God, how much money does Jack White make off that one song, you think? Let's look that up. Hold on, let's check this out. Spotify money per stream, 2 billy. 2 billies. How much is a 2 billy? Not 2 million, 2 billion. Okay, so you just got to move the gotta give it. Okay, so that's millions of dollars right there. Obviously, he's got to split it with his record label and all that stuff. So, but yeah, so that's about it's like $1 million off of one song. He got a milli. Yeah, Jack White's crazy, dude. I like him. But that's the point I'm trying to make here is that there's a weird thing about whenever you're trying to play music and you're trying to get people to listen to your music, these bubbles exist. There are bubbles that you can't get out. That's the sad part is that you can only get as big as people start looking for your stuff. I like my band Finals, wearing the merch. I like my music. I'm very proud of my latest record, for example. It is the most popular record I've ever put out. People didn't listen to it until I started streaming. So it's very interesting how that works. So that's why I always talk about guitar, music, and streaming. If you're not streaming live, if you're not making videos on social media, you are not going to be heard. It's just not going to happen. If you're playing at dive bars, if you're going to your mom's spaghetti dinner, playing, in the corner of the VFW or something like that, if you're out on the street, you will be treated that way. You have to be on social media. You got to be on stream. You got to do all that stuff. You got it. It's absolutely crazy. We got Alex Tyler Gaming, $5 donation saying, what do you think the next big band talk on the next big band talk? You hear all this hype about one band and then 5 years, 2 or 3 good songs, and they're not all that. Oh, dude, that happened with what was the Vines? You ever listen to the Vines? Remember that Ride with me? Oh, I can't do that actually. You can't even sing songs. Otherwise you could get copyrighted. I actually got a video, I got a warning the other day because I was playing songs. No backing track, nothing. So anyways. The Vines, if you've never heard the Vines, you can look them up. You will instantly recognize some of their songs. But good question. As far as big bands being rumored and then not following up with any good content, any good albums, any good specific songs, I don't know, man. There's been so many bands, like the Vines had 2 really good albums, and then everything after that's been kind of nothing worth talking about. But I do like the first 2 albums. Recently, I think McGee has been on a lot of people's lips. A lot of people talking about McGee being kind of like an 80s throwback, kind of like a Phil Collins era kind of rock thing. Greta Van Fleet had 1 good album. Yep, I agree with that. They had 1. Zeppelin was back, baby! And then the second album, don't know what happened with the second record. Wolfmother's another band that kind of had that effect. They had 1 really good album. They were supposed to be the next big thing, and then the second album came, plummeted. They say this is a thing that happens a lot. They say that you have your entire life to release your first album, but you only have 2 years to release your second. So I think that's what happens with a lot of these bands. They have a lot of good ideas for a while, and they kind of collect them. And then the second album comes out, and they're like, we only had 2 years. What do we do? So for a lot of my music, for example, I got lucky by not releasing specific songs until later. So, but yeah, as far as specific bands, Alex, I'm not sure, dude. But there's hundreds of bands people talk about, and they don't capitalize. They don't make a second or third great album. Quinn says, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the show. We're kind of talking about guitar, music, and streaming. And then we're actually going to get off in a couple minutes, like 1 or 2 minutes, because I got to get ready for my second show. We're going to be playing music for free tonight. I got all these guitars. We got a whole bunch of music we can play. We're going to go to the main channel, Patrick Gnarly. That's me. This is Patrick Gnarly and Company, which means I'm talking to you. The other channel is the main channel where I play music. We're going to be hanging out there. We're going to be playing music. It was my birthday the other day, so I'm going to give everybody a big thank you for helping out the show. And we're not going to be taking any specific paid requests. We're just going to play music for fun. If you guys want to donate, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, we're going to be hanging out. But I'm going to be doing a vote thing. We're going to do votes, so it'll be pretty crazy. But yeah, I was happy about Greta Van Fleet's Led Zeppelin stuff. So love him or hate him when you guys see Youngblood career growing. That's another one I haven't really paid attention to. I think somebody talked about Youngblood during Ozzy's concert, and I checked out his early stuff. Didn't enjoy his early stuff. He had 1 song I heard later that was better, but didn't fall in love with it. Yeah, I think the issue with music is that, like, a lot of people have mentioned this. There's no monoculture. Like, we're not all going to the same places anymore. We're all splintered off. So now there's all these local celebrities. That's the only reason I'm able to do this. The only reason I'm able to have my music anywhere is because of that small kind of thing that's going on, you know? Everybody's paying. Because think about it this way. You're watching me right now, right? We got about 15 people. Not a huge army in this chat room right now. But thank you so much, Cool Killer. We got the Sing at Night. Great finals track. Hey, I appreciate it. But as far as people kind of going into one little spot, that means there's 15 people just hanging out with me right now instead of watching, Gumball on Cartoon Network. There's 15 people watching me right now instead of watching the Victoria's Secret YouTube thing. which was the other day, which crashed YouTube apparently. You guys are watching me right now instead of the news. You're not on Reddit. You know what I mean? You can, the attention economy. It's only one thing you can have at a time. One thing. So that's why all these companies, all these things are kind of getting splintered. Because instead of all of us watching Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show, instead of all of us watching Conan O'Brien, instead of all of us watching Jon Stewart, The Daily Show or something like that, we're all doing our own thing. We're all getting a lot of entertainment out of it. And with that being said, you guys, I got to get off. We streamed for about an hour and 45 minutes. Again, thank you guys so much for being here. I will be on my main channel, Patrick Gnarly. I got to get something to eat. Got to take a break for a second and then get ready for that. But again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me here. Thank you so much to Cool Killer for sending some donations for us. If you guys have not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell all the people about it too. WD, thank you so much. I will be playing music for you guys in just a little bit. So again, thank you for being here. Check out the main channel, Patrick Gnarly. That's me. Patrick Gnarly and Company is the talking portion because a lot of people ask me questions during my main show. So I had to make a different thing. So anyways, I got to get off, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a great time talking with me, and I plan to do this all week, every day of the week, Monday through Friday. We'll be doing an early show. I'll be releasing videos on this channel, things like that. So again, thank you guys so much for being here. Good night, and I hope to see you on the main channel. Bye, everybody. Check out that link in my channel description. Stay gnarly, everybody.